Welcome to your favorite YouTube channel. Do not forget to like, comment, and click the red button below your screen to subscribe on Custom Reports TV.
Hello and thanks for staying with us. I am Egeseme Edinye with Customs Report. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has officially released the promotion officers from all ranks in the country. Also on Customs Reports, the Controller in charge of the airport speaks on customs modality of clearance of consignment at the airport, plus more reports. Stay tuned. The Assistant Controller General of Customs in charge of Zone A has urged the newly promoted officers to continue to give the best to the service. The Customs boss gave the order when she officially decorated promoted officers from the rank of Deputy Controllers to Controllers of Customs. She was assisted by some area controllers operating in the Western Zone. The Assistant Controller General of Customs in charge of Zone A said that Customs will continue to stop fake drugs shipped into the country. He urged the newly promoted officers to be honest and truthful to the federal government. The Customs boss told the newly decorated officers to beware of fake instruction from anybody that claims to work for the government.
You now have people under you. Apart from showing good leadership, you must be very, very careful, because invariably, everything that happens in that terminal, for instance, assuming you're heading a terminal, is on your shoulders. You are the one that delegates duties. You're the one that tells this group, do this examination, release this container or containers. So you must be, I used to say, save them for themselves. Before you are allowed to go, you are the one that will give the final authority before those containers or that container goes. So what the AC had done, you are also supposed to do it. So that if there is any discrepancy anywhere, you call the attention of that assistant controller who is heading that group, and you are advised, because you are the father there or the mother.
She used the opportunity to warn officers against importation of hard drugs into the country.
So you are no longer the same person you are in the job. Something had given way. You are now, with that rank, anything could happen. You are now in the controller cadre. You are now in the controller cadre. I want you to know that there is a demarcation between you and them from the rank of chief superintendent. You will also see that the job order will have changed. You will now become releasing officers, and that is more responsibility. The chief superintendent down will do examination and they will come to you. You must do diligence. Do not just release because they said this is what they found. You must go that extra mile that makes you a leader. You are now heading you are going to head a group. You are headed, that is it. Management.
She said that no officer should allow any agent to bring in consignment unapproved into the country. She urged officers to monitor any document presented by agents for clearance of goods at the seaport, airport, and border posts. According to her, all promoted officers should make sure that they generate more revenue for the government. Some deputy controllers were elevated to the rank of controllers, while others were decorated with the rank of deputy controllers and assistant controllers of customs. Some of the area controllers also helped in the decoration of some officers at the zone. You are watching the program Customs Report. No! 22 officers of various rank serving in Borno State Command of Nigerian Customs Service have been promoted to the next rank. The decoration was assisted by the Commandant of Sisters Organization operating in the zone. Ifeanyi Mark has more.
The Customs Area Controller in charge of Borno and Yobe States, Aliyu Abdullahi, who himself recently received the Controller General's Medal Award for exemplary service, along with some of his colleagues from similar agencies, decorated the newly promoted officers. He enjoins the officers to rededicate themselves to duty.
Show capacity to live up to the new ranks that they will be decorated with. Because to whom much is given, much is what? Expected.
The representative of the General Officer commanding 7th Division of the Nigeria Army, who is also the division's Chief of Staff, Brigadier General Ifeanyi Otu, told the newly decorated officers that promotion comes from God as a sign of hard work.
Those of you promoted, you were not the only ones who were presented. Others were presented, but God in his mercies found you worthy to be elevated to the next rank. So I want to thank God for that. Then to our promoted officers, your promotion, this is just the beginning in your career. You still have other opportunities to grow. I want to advise you, don't fail in grabbing any opportunity that will help you to grow in your profession. If it is courses, if it is meeting your seniors for advice when necessary, please do so.
One of the promoted officers speaks on behalf of his colleagues.
We are sincerely grateful that the service has promoted us. By this juncture, we are deeply indebted to the service, and we promise to put in more efforts to justify this motivation.
Highlight of the occasion was the presentation of gift to newly promoted Ibrahim Mustapha, whose promotion to Controller of Customs is coming 3 days to his retirement. His colleagues give him a farewell cheer.
The Customs Area Controller in charge of Tinkan Customs Command, alongside with the Controller in charge of KLT, also in Lagos, has been speaking on the recent promotion as approved by the Board of Nigerian Customs Service. The two controllers commended the Contractor of Customs for a job well done. They speak more on the promotion as they affect other officers in the country.
I felt so proud of the CGC and its management, and I was very happy for those that got promoted, especially my squad mates. It was a beautiful time to celebrate. After decorating them, you would remember that only the officers from the rank of Assistant Controller upwards were promoted in Harvey Road. So decoration continued at the command immediately after Harvey Road. And so those that were decorated in Harvey Road joined the other ones that were decorated at the command. And my watchword at the decoration was integrity and the fact that expectations are higher as the ranks get higher. Really, you know, when promotions like this come, you would agree with me that promotion is part of the incentives that ginger people to work harder. And so, without missing words, you already know that for anybody to have been thus encouraged, they know that much more is expected of them, and definitely it would positively improve revenue generation, because they're going to work harder this time than before. I would just have to commend the credibility and transparency of the management and the annual promotions, which serves as a big incentive for officers. We're encouraged, we thank them, and we expect them to do more. There's hope at the end of the tunnel. I might have to just add this. You know, the fact that anybody is not promoted does not mean the person failed the exams. Promotion in the customs, Nigerian Customs Service, is basically on merit and the vacancies available. So truth of the matter is, if 100 people sat for the examination and pass mark is even 60%, you might find out that all the 100 got between 80 and 100%, but then the vacancies have to come to play. Availability of space, which is vacancy, is what will be worked with. So promotion in the Nigerian Customs Service is always the best of the best. You hardly will find anybody failing the exams. It's always one of the best of the best.
So what's
promotion is one of the very special means of motivating officers. What I have to say about the promotion, recent promotion, is to thank the CGC and commend him for deeming it fit to promote those officers, especially the promotion that is based on merit. You know, the whole idea of promotion is to motivate officers for greater performance. And since this one is happening at the end of the year, it is expected that our officers will be prepared to perform very well in the coming year. I felt very happy, you know, because you know, as a career, you know, one's progression, you know, is very important. Today you are superintendent. After about 2-3 years, you are chief superintendent. One day you are assistant controller, and this progression makes me happy, and also the excitement in the officer you are decorating. Especially, you can see most of the officers had their wives, their family members. You know, everybody. The atmosphere was very conducive. Everybody was happy and excited about it. So it's really interesting to witness such occasion. My officers, one of the things I told my officers is to, if you look at the number of officers promoted and you look at the caliber of officers promoted, you have this belief and the confirmation of a belief that hard works pay, because most of the officers are officers. Ordinarily, if you look at them, you will say they merit the promotion. So it means the promotion was done on merit. And the officers are happy themselves for being meriting the promotion, and today they are wearing new ranks. Especially, most of them have their wives and children around. You know, they are saluting their wives and what have you. A lot of excitement in the whole exercise. So we wish to commend the CGC sincerely, most sincerely, for deeming it fit to grant this promotion to our officers. Yes. Certainly, there is this saying that to whom much is given, much is expected. So our officers, especially those who are promoted, are geared and preparing themselves for greater performance. Those who are not lucky to make it, well, the next promotion is around the corner. So most of them are preparing, and they know hard work pays, so they have to work hard. And we are grateful to the CGC for this.
The newly decorated controller in charge of Ikeja Customs Training School has said that the promotion officers will enable men of the Nigerian Customs Service to continue to improve on their skills as approved by the management. It speaks more on the issue.
Well, I would like to thank the Almighty God for bringing us to this important day. The manager of Nigeria Customs Service, after under the leadership of Colonel Hamid Ali retired, has done well. over 2,000 officers were promoted at a go. It's a good thing that happened to the service. We appreciate him, we appreciate his management. Too much is given, much is expected. It is my belief officers will put in their best to ensure that the service achieves its desired objective. There is no excuse for any officer. The welfare of officers in terms of remuneration has been improved. Promotion has come out now. So I don't think there is any cause for any officer to relent behind. We are ever ready to put in our best to ensure that the collective objective of the service is achieved. We are not lucky to have it. Promotion, they say, is a privilege, not a right. And I'm sure with the style of the CGC and its management team, those who could not make it this time around, by the time they go for the next promotion exercise, they will have their way. Promotion, it comes as at when do. So I expect officers to take it easy. They should go for it, and by inshallah, they will have it.
The Customs Area Controller in charge of Muritala Mohammed Command has said that travelers should always seek information from customs when bringing in consignment into the country. The controller said that with more classification, consignment will not be seized by the customs at the airport. He speaks on the articles of trade at the airport.
The goods that are prohibited at the airports are also the same sets of goods that are prohibited from all points of entry into Nigeria. So we could say that the prohibition list is the same for the seaports, for the airports, for the border stations, and every seaport and every entrance into Nigeria. So the prohibition list is the same. When goods are prohibited, it means that there is a fiscal policy of government to control the amount, the quantity of such goods that will be circulated in Nigeria, that will be brought into Nigeria from other countries. It means that such goods cannot be legally imported into Nigeria. And governments do that by means of fiscal policies that are enunciated either during budget speeches in which the Minister of Finance will come out and spell out that, okay, this is the direction of economic policies in Nigeria, and for us to achieve the objective of this kind of policies, certain goods would have to be barred or prevented from being imported into Nigeria. It could also come in form of regular circulars, directives from the ministry. It doesn't really have to wait for a budget speech that comes once in a year at different times, depending on the need to fine-tune or rejig certain policies in government. Such a directive may also come to say, okay, certain goods are banned and are prevented as not to be imported into Nigeria. Okay, there are basically two types of import prohibition. We have those importations that are absolutely prohibited, and those goods fall under Schedule 4 of the Customs and Excise tariff. For those categories of goods, they must not be imported into Nigeria under any guise in whatever quantity. Now, the second type of prohibition are those that appear under Schedule 3 of the Customs and Excise tariff, and those ones are importation that are prohibited for trade. This simply means that you cannot bring these products into Nigeria, these goods into Nigeria for the purpose of trading with them. Or you could explain it further and said you cannot import them to Nigeria in commercial quantities. So the first one, absolute, it must not come into Nigeria under any guise, not in any quantity. The second one, you cannot bring them into Nigeria for the purpose of trading. So these are the two basic types. Okay, let's put it together, and I will still repeat the fact that prohibition lists are the same, whether they are for travelers, whether they are for those at the seaports or at the border crossings. The objective of import prohibitions are the same. It's either for us to maintain peace, law and order in our country, or because there are certain societal values that government seeks to protect, or most importantly that we know for economic development of the country. So we are looking at our local industries. We want them to grow. We want to create jobs, because when those industries, when those manufacturing companies are in existence, it will have the capacity to absorb as many jobless people as possible. And of course, when these companies operate, this is the reverse angle to this. When these companies are in good operations, when they are utilizing their installed capacity well, they'll be able to employ so many people, and then this will lead to, so many other dynamics. People that are, in the value chain, the tax they are going to pay, the various indirect employments that those companies will create, the marketers, the retailers, the wholesalers, down the value chain. So all of these people will also be paying tax. So this is why governments, take decisions once in a while to create economic activities in other sector. This is why we sometimes say don't import some of these things into Nigeria. Now, in terms of those goods, let's begin to understand that when you have certain things in abundance in Nigeria, or when you have the potentials to have them in abundance, government policies has always been to focus attention on those sectors and see how we can develop them to a level of self-sufficiency and possibly begin to open up the market for exports. So when you have those things, for example, then there will be no need for us to begin to import them again.
The coordinator in charge of CG Task Force operating in the Western Zone and his men has intercepted goods worth millions of naira from smugglers operating in the zone. The intercepted consignment are frozen products, and the customs also intercepted 10 vehicles that brought in the products into the country.
There are 10 vehicles involved in the season, and they were being intercepted on Saturday night. Most times the people are always funny. They were timing us. They thought we have gone to sleep. That is when I now proved to them that we have not gone anywhere. We are together. That is when I now intercepted, including my own officers. 10 vehicles, you can see them behind me. So these are the contents. Normally, it's just like facing your enemy. We are always ready. No, we don't use any firearm. So my advice to the smugglers is this. They should desist from this work they are doing. Let them look for a better work to do than smuggling. Smuggling is not a good business for them.
Just before we round up this week edition of the program Customs Report, we brought you a report where the controller in charge of Muritala Mohammed Command speaks on articles of importation through the airport. For me, Igeseme Etienne, thanks for watching.